Hi, how are you? Let's solve this question regarding correlation coefficient statistical test, where it says chickens produce eggs. The effect of the age of a chicken on the mass of the eggs it lay was investigated. A statistical test can be used to see if there is a significant correlation between the age of a chicken and the mass of her eggs. The value generated by the statistical test will always be between positive 1 and negative 1. Negative 1 is for the negative correlation and positive is for the positive correlation. The table shows the mass of eggs collected from chickens of different ages, and we've got some missing parts here, some missing cells in this table for the rank of mass of egg, for D and for D squared. We just don't know yet what D is and what D squared is, but we'll figure out. It needs us to calculate the value for total of D squared. Alright, first of all, let's fill the cell of the rank of mass of egg. The rank here means the order of values, where, as you can see here for the ages, the rank of age is in order of the ages ascendingly. It's in an ascending order. 36 is number 1, and the largest or the highest value, 60, has the highest rank. Same thing goes for the rank of mass of egg, where we can order them ascendingly. 1.91 actually is the lowest number here, so it gets the rank of 1. D stands for the difference between which two parts exactly, where you can deduce this or you can conclude this from the other data. -7 here came from the subtraction between 1 and 8. 1 minus 8 is -7. 3 minus 5.5 is -2.5. 4 minus 9 is -5. So now I have deduced that D is from the subtraction between these two values. So if I want to get the difference here, it's 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. And D squared is simply the value of D power 2. 1 power 2 is 1 as well. Let's move to the last cells here in the table. Rank of age is 9 and the rank of mass of egg is 2, so the difference between 9 and 2 is 7, and we have to power 2, which is 49. Now I need to get the total of all these values all together. We're gonna add them, so when you add them all together, the answer will be 159.5. Just write your answer here in the spaces provided. Now it needs me to calculate the correlation coefficient value for this data using the formula. I'm given the formula, so you don't need to memorize it at any point, because I got asked whether you should memorize this or not. So definitely you don't need to memorize the formula for correlation coefficient or standard deviation or like any formula. You don't need to memorize it. I just need to substitute into this equation now. So the correlation coefficient equals 1 minus 6 times total D squared. We already got total D squared, which is 159.5. So times 159.5 divided by n times n power 2 minus 1. So what is n? N is always the number of sets of data. So let's count the number of sets of data here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 sets of data, or actually it's already here in the rank. We could say that they are 9 values. So in your denominator, write 9 times 9 power 2 minus 1 and use the calculator to get the value, which is going to be your final answer. So now I've got the answer, and it's going to be negative 0.329. So just write your answer here. Now let's read this question. The null hypothesis is that there was no significant correlation between the age of the chicken and the mass of the eggs laid. Another scientist replicated this study and gained a correlation coefficient value of 0.38. So note this and underline it, that the value of correlation coefficient gained by this study was 0.38. This is the table of critical values that we need to compare with the calculated values to see whether it's going to be accepted or not. The null hypothesis, I mean. Okay, we're not going to use all these values. I just need the value of the number of pairs of data that I have. I have 9 pairs of data, as we have already said here that they are 9 pairs of data. So for the 9 pairs of data, the critical values obtained at the 0.05% is 0.683. So I need to compare the 0.38 with the 0.683. Which value is higher than the other? Well, actually, the calculated value is lower than the critical value, so the null hypothesis should be accepted, and that's according to what we have learned already, that we compare the critical value with the calculated values, and if the calculated value is below the critical value, we accept the null hypothesis, and this is how it works. So we're just going to write here that the null hypothesis should be accepted because 0.38, which is the calculated value, is lower than 0.683, which is the critical value. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this useful.